Hey, peace. What's happening, everyone? On our deal with.
Ooh, yeah. Nah, nah, nah.
Suddenly there came a sound from heaven, as of a rushing mighty wind,
Like the rushing of a mighty wind. Like the rushing of a mighty wind. Come and fill our hearts again. Like the rushing of a mighty wind.
Yeah, blessings. Once again, you know the routine. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. All of that helps. So you don't know. Without any further ado, let's get started. What's happening, Leonard? Can you hear me?
Yeah, the video stopped. I was like, "Is something wrong on the other end?"
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh,
How
I'm
you
just here
doing today?
listening. I'm like, okay, like I said, I just be listening in for the whatever. I mean, you get to the nitty of the gritty. My opinion is, I don't want to say it's different, but I feel like I don't care. Oh shoot.
Yeah, well, that is a different opinion.
No, I'm serious. I'm like, hey, I live in the greatest country on earth. I'm benefiting. I'm doing what I do, and anybody feels jaded or like, okay, that's too bad for you. Eh.
Where are you staying again, Leonard?
Say again?
Where are you?
Oh, I'm in Georgia, the great state of Georgia.
Atlanta?
No, hell no. Atlanta's a dump. That's the ghetto.
Atlanta's a dump. So where in Georgia are you?
I'm not giving my exact location. You know, people on the internet, they get weird. But I'm in Georgia.
Oh, okay, I hear you.
Yeah, that's like enough. I'm in the great state of Georgia. You know, but it's these people, baby. We were slaves. Like, no, you weren't. Well, we were slaves. No, you weren't. We were slaves. Like, no, you weren't. Anyone born since 1900, at the earliest, you weren't slaves. You weren't. So just stop it. You were not a slave.
So what about their argument, Leonard? Their argument is that the legacy of slavery, what happened after slavery with Jim Crow, that all of that has kind of, preventing them from attaining generational wealth. And, I think that's why they harp on the slavery thing, because it has caused them to not be as successful as they could be. So what do you say to that?
What I say to that is go to any doggone school in the hood, since school has started opening now. Schools are opening. Yay! Go to any of those schools and look at the poor disenfranchised black children. And you see them walking in with Jordan gym shoes and iPhones. Disenfranchised people, they can't afford iPhones.
Wait, you were talking about going to the schools.
Yeah, just look at what the kids are wearing going to school and what they got in their hand going to school.
Well, I'm not from Georgia, so you got to fill me in.
I'm not talking about Georgia. That's go to New York, Chicago, Atlanta, Baltimore, Los Angeles, New Orleans, St. Louis. Go to any urban black American city, or with at least a third of the population is black, and they got ghettos, and you go to the ghetto and you look at the children going in the ghetto schools in the ghetto, and you will see them wearing the most expensive doggone gym shoes and with the iPhone.
Mm.
But on the flip side of it, well, we doggone economically disenfranchised. How? I don't own an iPhone. But
So
it's
are you
not because
saying?
I don't
Hold
own
on.
an iPhone. It's because I'm just not that foolish with my money.
So are you saying that? Are you saying that you don't think? Because on average, I think Black people in America, on average, compared to other, and I'm talking about Black people across the board, not just FBA. I think our numbers are, in terms of our income, is less than most, if not all, other races.
No,
Um,
not even close. Black Americans in this country at one time, and this was recently, right? You had 70% of Black America were middle class earners and above. Now it's 45% are middle class earners and above. Black Americans have more disposable income than other blacks all over planet Earth. I mean, name me one place outside of the United States where if you get a little hot in the butt, little gal, 16 years old, get pregnant, and she can get full assistance from the government with everything that she needs for the care of that child. Where else do they do that at?
so you're counting assistance as income?
I'm not counting it as income, I'm counting it as greatness.
Sure, but I mean, what I'm talking about is, it's a fact
You're
that
talking about income, I'm talking about greatness overall. Our income is great. What is received from this country by all Americans across the board is great. This is the
right, but
greatest
those are stuff.
country
But
in
that's
the world.
yeah, I understand that. I understand that. But the stuff we get is because of our low income. So the government tries to subsidize our income, right? And their take is that the reason that their income has to be subsidized is because of the legacy of racism, slavery, white
Look,
supremacy in America.
well,
And I'm just asking you if you think, if you don't, do you think that's real or not real?
no, that's not real. Do you know that you have more whites on welfare than the whole entire population of Black Americans in this country? So miss me
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the poverty. It's this thing, right? It's called get up off your ass and get it. 'Cause now I don't know if you know any junkies. I don't know. But have you ever noticed
Any
you don't
what?
see
Any junkies?
junkies, dope heads?
Oh no, I can't say that I do.
Okay, but have you noticed you ain't seen none of them complaining about the economy and this and that, and they still getting high every day, aren't they? Why? Because they're not lazy. A junkie gonna make some money to get that high. So if a junkie can make money to get that dope to shoot in their veins every day successfully, you mean you as a non-drug abusing person, you can't do that on a job? Make it make sense to me.
Yeah. So it doesn't sound like you support the idea of reparations, Leonard.
I don't care about it. I mean, if I was to go personal with it, I'm not a descendant of slavery. I never owned a slave, so why should my income have to pay somebody for something that I didn't do?
Yeah. So, do you think that what if the payment was to come from someone other than you? Do you think that payment is justified?
I say the boat got missed and people need to just move the hell on. That's what I say.
Okay. So, how familiar are you with the ADOS movement, the FBA movement?
I'm familiar with the both of them. You got the American Descendants of Slavery, ADOS. You got the FBA, Foundational Black Americans, which means your bloodline goes all the way back to if pre-Jim Crow, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Which I fit in the category, but I don't fit in the descendant of slavery category because I know for a fact my family did not own slaves.
Did not own slaves or were not slaves?
Were not and did not own slaves.
Okay.
That I
Okay.
do know. All the way from the 1700s from Ontario, Canada, coming down the Mississippi River to finally settle in Louisiana.
Mm. So, what are your? So it doesn't sound like you follow the ADOS or the FBA philosophy.
They actually have a philosophy.
Well, I don't know if it's a philosophy, but I guess their main goal. I guess their goal is reparations. Both groups, their main goal is centered around
Well, you know
gaining
what?
reparations.
In all honesty, because I'm a gaping a-hole, I would totally love if the money could be paid and pay it out. Why? So I could sit back and say, now what are you going to complain about? Well, now what you going to complain about? Because there was somebody that called me an Uncle Tom, and I said, thank you. And they're like, oh, you proud of being an Uncle Tom? I said, yeah, because see, that just goes to show you fit the stereotype. You don't read. So if you read the book, Uncle Tom's Cabin, you'll see Uncle Tom was the hero of the story. Now, who you're actually talking about is Sambo. But since you don't read, you don't know. So, yes, that's a compliment. Said, let me identify as anything. I identify as a white supremacist and a Nazi because I drive a Mercedes. Then they get real mad. What? Yeah, so you wish you were white. No, I don't wish it. Since nowadays you can be whatever you want to be because you say it. Men can be women because they say they're a woman. I'm white. They get mad as hell. And I love it. Make my liver quiver.
Yeah, so I think what they'd complain about, though, if they did get the payment, I think what they'd complain about is that it's not enough.
Yeah, exactly. It's not enough. It's like, okay, you could look, you could get a whole world and be like, okay, now what? Now, go grow some cantaloupes, huh? Oh, you don't know how to do that, huh? All right, here's some live chickens. Skin them down, cut, prepare one to be cooked. That's a chicken. I know it's a chicken. People talk all this crap, and it's like, don't even know how to prepare food from a live animal source. Don't know how to grow food in a garden. It's like you defeated.
Yeah. Sounds like, are those the same thing? I don't. Booker T. Washington and the Tuskegee Institute, are those the things that they were pretty much trying to teach in that institute? Farming?
No, the thing with the Booker T's and Du Bois and the rest of them, that was that talented 10th We're the 10%, the most educated collegiately black people, and we're going to be the ones that lead the rest of Black America into prosperity via education. That was what they thought. That was their motive. That was their goal. That was their, I'm like, that didn't work. Because I know people that have all types of degrees and everything, and you're so brilliant and smart. Okay, change the oil in your car. Huh? You can hear. Change the oil. Yeah, change the oil in your car. Go ahead. Here's some coveralls so you won't even get dirty. There you go. Well, you could just take it to Jiffy Lube and, you don't even know how to change the oil in your car. But you're such a smart ass. You're a genius. And that's how I look at things. I'm like, hey. And you know, I always tell people, hey, come on now, slow it down, explain it to me. You know, only got a 12th grade diploma. And they be like, I'm only a high school graduate. So, you know, you gotta take it slow. And I do that to insult them, really. Oh, so you act like you don't understand. No, I fully understand. I want you to give it to me in a way that I understand that I was wrong in my assessment. See, that's like this thing, and I'm quite sure you've heard it. Well, I don't know. You let me know if you did hear it. Did you hear the thing about welfare being offered to the black woman so that she will put the black man out the household? And that's the reason we have the single black mother rate today.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yes.
Okay. Jabberwocky. Jabberwocky. That's not true.
So what's the truth?
The truth is you had this thing called Aid for Dependent Children. That's what it was called initially, ADC. Now, that's what they called it. Now, we in the neighborhood who parents, you know, weren't on welfare and all this other stuff, this and that, we called it after daddy cut out. You won't find it on Google, though. ADC, after daddy cut out. See, back when I was a kid, if we wanted to get candy from a store, all we had to do was just go roam around in the alley. And if we found a pop bottle or two, we take them to the corner store, and it was a 5 or 10 cent deposit on it. There was a lot of candy back then. See, when you get the welfare kid, they didn't want to go in the alley and hustle bottles to get candy. They just got a little coupon from mama.
So how's what you said before, Jabberwocky, as you called it? Because it sounds like you're saying it's the same thing. It's the welfare called single mother households.
No, it didn't call single mother households. No, you know what called single mother households was 1974, when women were allowed to doggone get credit without men, and black women were running around after the Equal Rights Amendment, marching and this and that. The white women went home liberated and heard. Well, not liberated. They went home feeling like they had been heard. The black women went home liberated, not needing a men. And the rest is history. That's where all that came from. I mean, come on, what?
And you don't think the fact that welfare was so easily accessible, you don't think that made the decision for black women to be on their own? You don't think it made that decision a little more easier?
No, it did not. I came up in a time whereas if somebody got pregnant, it was two things that happened. Either it was a shotgun wedding, or her family moved out the neighborhood out of shame. And that remained until the mid-70s. when black women grew to be that got all a so-called independence and didn't need the black man no more. And there you go in a nutshell.
Tell me
See?
again, where did this independence come from again? Tell me again. This feeling of independence.
Oh, the Equal Rights Amendment, when that got signed, and then in 1974, and you can look this up, when women nationwide were allowed to establish credit without having a man's signature to get loans and credit, this and that.
So you think if we did the research, we would find that a lot of single mothers have a lot of loans?
The majority of black women, you could Google right now, what demographic of woman in the United States has the worst credit rating? And it will come up black women first. Matter of fact, let me see, because I got this other secondary phone here. This is the broke phone. You know, I always get the broke phone and do the other stuff on here. Let's see here. Well, I got to cut the volume off on the video. There we go. Okay. Now let me see.
You're saying that this law allowed women to get loans, including credit card loans.
Everything, the whole 9 yards, just like men. Though they didn't have the same employment with the same money, and that's when they got trapped into the whole doggone deal of that. Like, let me click on here. What demographic of female has the worst credit rating overall in the United States of America? Okay, now let me put my glasses on because I thought it was going to speak. Now, this says it goes from everything. It says several demographic factors, gender or race studies, the Urban Institute. You know, it says the Urban Institute shows that the average credit score of young adults 25 to 29 were lower in majority black communities, followed by Hispanic communities, and this and that, and all of this. And I said female. That's what I said. Female. They said this is speaking. This AI overview is on both genders. So, what demographic of woman in the United States has the worst credit rating overall? Black and Hispanic women tend to have lower credit scores compared to white women, according to multiple studies. Thank you. They gave me the answer. Some sources indicate that women of color, especially black women, well, there you go. It's right there.
Yeah, but with that bad credit, that means it's going to be hard for them to get loans nowadays. But their single mother rate is still going up.
Exactly. So, because of sexual irresponsibility. That's what it is. You ever heard this phrase, bad boys make a good girl's heart beat faster?
Yeah, I'm familiar with
okay,
like
so
that.
You'll have, well, I don't know about now. So yeah, I could say now with the drill rap music. Now you'll have these decent females, good families. They don't want their equal. They won't rough them up Ricky, because he bound for the penitentiary, and that's exciting. And that's what they want. And then that's what they get. And then they stick their mouth out all day long talking about N-words ain't ish, right? And it's like, but that's what you lay with. But then after that, that's when they want decent black American working man to come to the rescue to take care of kids that ain't his and all this other stuff. And now the young black men are not willing to do it anymore. See, during my generation, that was considered an admirable act. You wasn't a stepfather, you were the father that stepped up. Now, the young black men are like, nope, I'm not taking care of your mistakes. And I can't blame them.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to figure out, right? Like, what is it that because that's what we're talking about. What is it that causes the high rate of single motherhood in the black community?
Sexual irresponsibility. Sexual irresponsibility and knowing you have the safety net of welfare. See, when welfare was initially established by FDR back after the Great Depression and all of that, that was for white people. You didn't have black people on welfare.
So you do think it comes back to welfare, or that it has something to do with welfare?
No. What it has to do with welfare is that's an easy ticket out. See, why get a job when I could just keep pushing out kids and get a bigger check? Now, when they put a cap on welfare as of, it doesn't matter how many children you have, we're only going to pay you so much money. All of that baby making ratio started dropping off. You see what I'm saying? It started lowering. Because it's like, hey, we're not going to keep paying you per kid like that, right? So, you got that. All right. And everybody's pretending that there's something that they're not. And I mean, it's just totally ridiculous. I mean, I know a nice amount of nice earning, I'm talking 6-figure young black men in their 30s, half my age, and they are with non-black women while some of the other ones are going through hell and high water. You know, I'm trying to show her that, you know, I'm a good dude and what we could have together. And it's like, dude, when you just wake the hell up, she's looking at you like you're a meal ticket. Okay? Now, be a simp and be her meal ticket, or branch out and get with somebody that's within your income and your credit rating like I do. Very simple.
So what would be your message to ADOS and FBA that are asking for reparations? Instead of asking for reparations, what do you suggest they focus on?
Getting a job, getting their credit scores where they need to be, acquiring a home of their own, getting life insurance so that it will pay for said home in the event of their death, so we stop having all these GoFundMe funerals, and they're leaving something behind for their children. Get married, okay?
Sounds to me, I'm gonna tell you what everything you're saying registers as. When I hear it, what I hear you say is they should live the American dream.
Exactly. The American dream, you can't beat it with a stick.
Yeah. You ain't gotta tell me that.
You can't beat it with a stick. And see, to those that are talking about, you got these immigrants, they're coming over here taking our jobs. Okay, where are you working at? Oh, you ain't even got a job, right? The last time you had a job was... Okay, now how are immigrants coming here taking your jobs when you ain't had one since you've been on the hustle man plan? Make it make sense to me. I mean, I know somebody that they were working at this place and it was an accident. You know, it was one of them factories, whatever it is, an accident. It was a lawsuit. He ended up with $50,000, right? He went gambling and blew it all. Blew it all gambling. Then he was telling some of the other people, man, I had a gambling problem. And I'd be like, well, you ain't got no more money now, so you ain't got a gambling problem no more, do you? Now you back to your regular life, working to pay your bills. When you could have been $50,000 in the good, you could have put 10,000 of them 50 in U.S. savings bonds and let that sit for 5 years, and it would have doubled into $20,000 tax free as long as you cash it in the date of the maturity of the bond. No, you just I'm gonna go up to the casino and you did, yeah, you did, you did what you did. So don't sit here, man. No. I'm all about responsibility. That's like they put guns and drugs in the neighborhood. Yeah, so they also put libraries in there too. When the last time you read a book?
And why do you think it's so difficult for Black Americans, I think, in particular? Why do you think it's so difficult for them to embrace the American dream?
That's the lower hanging fruit portion of Black America. That's what's shown. That's what's seen on the internet, because if you don't have anything else to do, you could hang out on the internet all day long like you're a retired person like myself. These people are doggone 22, 24 years old. You're not retired. You have to work 20 years to get a retirement. You're just old enough to start working. So, and they're on here, TikTok and everything else and this and that, and everybody's pretending that they're doggone gazillionaire and they don't this and they don't have to work and they do this and they making this much money, and it's a whole lot of pretending. The ones that are doing it are the low-hanging fruit blacks, because the ones that are really getting it in, you don't ever hear from them. You don't hear from them.
Do you think, like if you're on welfare, if you're on welfare, you're pretty much not living the American dream, correct?
You're not living the American dream. You're a brokey.
Yeah. And would you say it's a fringe amount of Black Americans that are on welfare?
30%.
Yeah, that's a large. That's a good amount. That's a big percent.
No, it's not. 30,
no, you don't 30, think?
No, 31% of white America is on welfare. That's average.
Yeah, I mean that's a good percentage though. That's close to 1/3. One out of three people. One out of every 3
Yeah,
person.
1 out of 3. There you go. 1 out of 3. Shit.
I mean, if we
you got Bob Marley, check this out. You got Bob Marley.
Listen. If during COVID, right? If 1 out of 3 person got COVID, we'd be like, yo, that's a high number. If 1 out of 3 people died from something, we would be like, oh my God, that's a crazy high number. I don't know how you can say 1 out of 3 is fringe, or a small
1 out of 3. And let me tell you about the 1 out of 3. The 1 out of 3 is the way it is because people are lazy. They're not mentally handicapped to the point that they can't function on a job. Now, ask yourself, where are all of the jobs? Where are they? In rural America or urban American cities? Where's the employment at?
The employment, I think, is in the urban centers.
And what percentage of blacks live in urban America?
A pretty high percentage of them.
85%. I'm giving you facts. So
I can't argue with what you're saying.
You don't have a job. That's because if you don't have a job and you're not mentally like, you know what I'm saying? What some people got? They not autism. what's that thing? Because it was this movie star. Her daughter had that. But she was before my time. Played Carmen with Harry Belafonte. Dorothy Dandridge. Yeah, Dorothy Dandridge's daughter had autism. There we go. Autism. Now, everybody's kid don't have autism or some type of mental disability that, prevents them from doing. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't have that, or you're not one of those people, why your ass ain't got no job? You can go and shake your ass all day long. You know enough math to cut dope, package and sell it on the street, but you can't do something else? Nah.
But they're descendants of slaves, Leonard.
They don't know that. Half these motherfuckers don't even know who their real daddy is. You know, when you had DNA tests, 4 out of every 6 Black American children, if they submit for a DNA test, the dude that the woman said the daddy is ain't the daddy. Come on now. Let's just be real. You know, that's another thing. I always talk about keeping it real. Let's just be real.
Are you saying, hold on, Leonard? Because according to FDA and ADOS, you have to be able to trace your lineage back to like 1870, the late 1800s.
Right.
But you're saying most of these kids today can't trace their heritage back to their own father.
Exactly, because you got 70% of Black American children that are being raised in single mother households. And then you have 40% of those children, the mother saying that your daddy is Larry, but they don't want to say that they had Lonnie blowing their back out and Larry didn't take a DNA test. But I look like Scotty. Remember that dude, Scott, that was coming over here all the time? They don't damn know. Mama's baby, Papa's maybe.
But I know it's a fringe amount. I know it's only 30%, but I'm still trying to figure out why. I mean, I guess your response is just lazy. I told you,
lazy. That's what it is. 1 out of 3 is lazy. That's all that is. That's all that is. And you got these doggone little hot draws girls want to be grown, tired of listening to their mama. They'll go get pregnant because they know they can go down to the Department of Public Aid and they will doggone give them their own apartment. Because at the age of 16, you could elect to not go to school anymore.
Yeah, so what's the best way to fight against this laziness? Like get rid of the welfare system?
Yeah. Because there'd be more white people hurting than black people.
Because I was watching a couple of videos recently, because Trump is cutting the SNAP program and he's taking a lot of snacks and candy out.
The thing is, he's not cutting the SNAP. It's 12 states that will not let you buy sweets and treats and weeks and eeks and all this, right? And in those 12 states, people are upset about that. Now, that's a guy had a show, and he's from Chicago, where I'm from, and he was talking about when they had birthday parties, in order for them to have a birthday cake for the kid, the moms got together and they used food stamps to buy the birthday cake. I'm sitting here like, okay, you using welfare to give this kid some type of party that you think that the kid deserved off money you ain't made. Kids deserve what you could give them from the sweat of your brow. Hell, my son didn't go to a doggone Catholic school because, I wanted him to go to Mount Carmel because, and the tuition was $13,000 a year for high school. You think I wanted to go just so I could brag? Yeah, my son went to Mount Carmel. That's the number 2 ranked private high school in the state of Illinois. Donovan McNabb, the football player, went there. No, it wasn't because of that. Yeah, safety factor. I'm like, I ain't want him. I almost said that, the N word. I ain't want him going to school around those people. Because you know the doggone 14 to 24, any black males within that age range in the urban environment, you're subject to doggone go to the upper room, as that song they used to say, the upper room with my Lord.
I think you mentioned it before, how Leonard, and I forgot to say thank you for your service.
Don't worry about that.
Correct?
Yeah, don't worry about that. That man, shoot, that the Army's paying. It's wartime. Everything is good, and me, I was my dumb ass. I'm like, yeah, I got some more. I got some more in the trunk. So I mean, in the tank, rather not the trunk, in the tank. Because my daughter was serving, so I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go back in the military, because I still got it, that male ego. Yeah. I got broke off a little something. But it's all right, though, because I'm getting paid for the breaking off in defense of this great country we live in. So.
Yeah, man.
I'd do it again tomorrow if it was necessary.
Yeah,
I love this country.
Do you think, Leonard, that it's the fact that you served that makes you love this country so much, or was it your love of the country that made you serve?
It's my love of the country. It had nothing to do with none of that other stuff. None of that. I came up in a family of people that succeeded. My dad went, and he was in World War II. I don't know what he did. He probably was a porter of some sort, because blacks didn't do much militarily back then.
Tell me what a porter does again.
Shine shoes and iron uniforms and wash, and they take care of whoever is asked to, like, look at the movie Patton. General George Patton, they had the one black guy that shined his shoes and made sure his uniforms and everything was together. He was the general's aide. That's what they would call it today. But so after that, he came to Chicago from Louisiana because you had the Jim Crow down there, couldn't make no money, and came up to Chicago, make some money, and made some money. And the doggone 5 children, 4 were Chicago police officers. I knew I didn't have the doggone whatever it is for that because of people I really don't like. So I joined the military to get away. And I left. So all of this, we ain't got no opportunities. Yes, you do. You can go to trade school, you can go to college, or you can go to the military. Either one of the 3 is a guarantee out of the ghetto.
And you do think that being in the military makes citizens more patriotic and?
No. You got gangbangers. So? You got gangbangers in the military.
Really?
Man, you can go on Porta Johns and you'll see doggone gang graffiti from Crips, Bloods, Vice Lords, Gangster Disciple, Black P Stone. They'll be in a club dancing, throwing up gang signs. But they're disciplined enough to not attack each other because they know the doggone penalty and the punishment in the military. They don't want that. Which says one thing.
This is during your time. This is what you were seeing and during your time
right
when
now.
you served?
No, this is right now. This ain't no during my time. This is right now. This is going on right now. Yeah, research that. Street gang members on active duty in the military. You'll be like, oh, oh, damn, didn't know that. See, the military is nothing but a miniaturized group of civilian, the civilian world. That's
I'm
all.
just wondering if I'm just surprised to even hear that the military would condone this type of behavior.
Well, the thing is this, okay? The war on terror is over, so now they're finna start kicking all kinds of people out. It's finna be such a great downsizing. Not a really great downsizing, but it's gonna be a downsizing. Now, if the Democrats get in office after Trump is done, it's gonna be a tremendous downsizing, because when the Democrats get in office, they take money from the doggone military budget. Like Obama took money from the military budget and funneled it to the Department of Agriculture, Food and Sustenance, which is what? The welfare department. That's the reason a lot of military people don't like Obama. They're like, we over here in Afghanistan and Iraq fighting for our country, but we can't get parts to keep our vehicles up and running because you slashed our budget and took our money earmarked for us, and you're giving it to welfare recipients sitting up in doggone Marcy Projects in New York or wherever they at, watching the war on CNN. They got cable. We ain't got cable.
Yeah, that's quite interesting.
Like I said,
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, everything I'm letting you know. I wish you had paper and pencil next to you, and you could just annotate this stuff, and you'll be like, okay, let me check this, because it's a whole lot of bunch. So it'll be like, well, let me check this out and see what this is. Oh, and let me check and see what that. Oh, and let me see what. Well, damn. Okay.
I mean, the only thing surprising that you've said that I've heard you say is just the stuff about the gang. Just gangbangers in the military and just being open with throwing up gang signs and stuff like that. That's the main thing.
That's in the enlisted club when they're in there dancing in the club. But you got MPs, they're seeing them. It's like, okay, well, that's so now you made yourself, okay, that's such and such a one. Okay, so now your name goes on record. Okay, so we know who to look for just in case, whatever, because they're stupid. So it's like, there you go. And yeah, I mean, it's a trip. It's like when oh goodness, the stuff that happened back in the day. The rapper Tupac, his music was banned for play in any military clubs by the DJs. He was on the banned artist list.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that, which is why it's when you say,
Biggie wasn't, but he was. Now, remember the group Public Enemy?
Yeah.
You could not buy Public Enemy records on military installations back when they sold records everywhere. Whatever store you went to, they had records in there. They didn't sell those on a military installation. And Public Enemy didn't even get any airplay. But they went platinum with no airplay and all of that. Now, in order for me to get those records, I was in Germany at the time, so I had to go to the civilian German record store and I could buy it. But if I DJ'd on a military club, I couldn't play that music in the military club. Or, I would be subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get in your business, but do you receive veterans assistance?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Is that a form
Yeah.
of is that a form of welfare?
No, we worked for that.
Yeah.
We worked for that. You got doggone this one here.
That's kind of like
sitting
that's
up-
kind of like that's kind of like a pension plan, if you will.
It is a
Is
pension.
one way you can look at it.
It is a pension plan. See, the thing is this, okay? You have people, the ghetto hellions. Oh, you getting doggone, you get them ghetto hellions, right? And they say there's no difference between disability from the military and welfare. And it's like, okay, there isn't? All right. Well, when did you sustain any type of trauma, physical or mental, because you were attacked by an enemy on foreign lands? Oh, well, I'm like, see.
But you get like if you don't have, do you have to have some type of injury to get the assistance?
Oh, yeah. You can't just get it because you want it.
Then it's not pension. Well,
No, it's not pension. It's disability payments for injuries incurred.
disability payments. Okay.
It's like workman's comp for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Now, my son, his mom, right? This one, she retired. There was only one more promotion that she could receive that was left, right? But all she did was work as a recruiter. She put people in the military. She never did go to war. The only time she did overseas duty was Germany, and that was back before the Berlin Wall came down. So when she got out and she went to the Veterans Administration, she ain't getting nothing. They looked at her paperwork. They was like, okay, medical records, no Iraq, no Afghanistan, no Desert Storm, no combat, anything. Why are you here? You know what I'm saying? You get nothing. It's like you weren't SA'd while you were in the Army either, because you get SA'd, that's PTSD. You weren't SA'd. And then one of the smart moves was like, okay, and at this time, orders came down for your unit to go to Afghanistan, and at 42 years old, you became pregnant. Nobody accidentally gets pregnant at 42. I mean, come on, make that one make sense to me. You accidentally get pregnant at 42, it just happened? No, 40 or 42 years old. Oops. No, not in the Army it don't. Because a lot of women got pregnant so they would not have to go to Iraq or Afghanistan. Because they knew that was their ticket to not go. But anyway, that's her deal. So she got nothing. So.
Were you in combat, Leonard?
Yeah, I got 4 deployments. Iraq twice, Afghanistan twice. And for my last doggone deployment to Afghanistan, that's when I lost my best battle buddy. It was a firefight. He didn't make it. Yeah, his daughter just graduated high school too.
You met him when you enrolled?
Yeah, I met him I met him before she was born. That was, we was thick as thieves, man. We were thick as thieves. That was my dude. he was a mess. He be doing stuff. I'd be like, nah, you might want to. No, I got to see. It's cool. Because one of the funniest stories, because I get a chaplain funny stories to tell at his funeral. He put. You see, I can't stop laughing. It's so funny. Now, He put 24-inch rims on the Chevy. But he didn't get the calipers redone. So he was driving and he tried to hit his brakes and all the brakes broke. So in order to stop the car, he had to slam it into the reverse, blew out the transmission, the torque converter, tore all his suspension up. It was oh man, I was laughing. I'm still laughing about it today, even though he's dead. That was my ace bull cool. And I told him, dude, you know those rims are too heavy for that car. They fit. That don't, just because they fit don't mean that you got to do extra work. You need bigger rotors and bigger calipers to help the car stop. You're going to have to get a larger radiator to compensate for the strain on that gas engine because it's not diesel. Well, you know, it's a 5.0 Vortex. I'm like, you know what, Sheldon? You're right. I left it at that. He tore that car up. He spent so much money trying to get that car back in order. His soul was hurt. Yeah. But that was my buddy, though. You know what I'm saying?
You have any regrets about being serving in the military?
Oh, hell no. Hell no. You know, and then the thing about it, like with him, the only picture that was ever taken of him and his wife and their child, it was taken at my house in April of 2010 while he was back in the States. And then because he stopped by to see my then wife, you know, because we were all tight. His wife, my wife, you know what I'm saying? All of that. We were like family. You know, and he came back first week of July. He was like, man, they done got ruthless out here in Kandahar. Man, y'all pray for me. He typed that on Facebook. And that was it. Firefight, and he didn't make it. And he went to save another soldier. Because they started shooting and the dude just froze and then he got shot and Sheldon ran out to try to drag him to safety. And then that's when he got shot and it was over with.
So Leonard, if you and your Army friends can get disability payments for you know, injuries you sustained, why can't Black women get you know, payments for their laziness? Can't their laziness be seen as a disability?
No, it ain't a disability. That's laziness. How do you pay your bills? How do you pay your bills?
I pay my bills. Some of them I pay online. Some of them I send out a check.
I'm not saying how like that. You got a job, right?
Yes, sir.
And your job is how you pay your bills. You can't just go and say, hey, you know, I'm Jamaican and I came to this great country and I want the American dream. Give me welfare so I could. No, you better go get a job. And I even give them, I'm pregnant, you know, to hit the heat of passion. And okay, fine. I'll give you that. But when you got them 3s and 4s and 5s and no. Come on now. Come on. Let's just stop it. That one, you was young, just, you know, young people, some stuff you can hold them accountable, but they stupid. They gonna test the water. When you get to 2, well, I really thought we were gonna get married. Okay, now that's it. That's the cutoff right there. I don't want to hear nothing else. But then you get to 3s and 4s and 5s and 6s, and everyone got a different daddy, and none of the daddies got a job that they can get child support payments from them. Oh, hell no. You're doing it on purpose. You're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I hear you, Leonard. Well, you won't be, FBA won't be any friends to you.
They don't have to be. They don't pay my bills. They don't have to be. I mean, there's people, conversations have occurred, and, there's like the majority of us, oh, you're going to sell out the hood. You're going to go fight for a country that ain't never fought for you. Like, okay, that's cool. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, because all right. Fine. Fine. That's really cool. But if somebody was to get out the military, they were in Afghanistan because that was the longest lasting one. And they had some issues psychologically from what they saw, what they did, just different things that went on. And they don't even retire. I just can't do this no more. I'm broken. All right. They're starting doggone pay. They're gonna get close to $4,000 a month. 100% free medical and dental for the rest of their life. And you get a 2.5% cost of living increase every year. And you can still work a job. Unless you're deemed non-employable, and they got different categories for that. Things are wrong with you mentally or physically. You're deemed like a danger to the public or a risk. They call it a risk. They don't say a danger, because that's too harsh. So a risk to public safety. So, that's like the guy that shot the military base up in Georgia. If you notice the way the headlines read, they said, this is a service member that never deployed. They threw that out there quick just to say, so you can't give him the mental illness excuse.
Hey, Leonard.
Yeah.
Were you big in the Black Power movement back in the day?
Was I who?
Were you involved? Did you
No,
participate in anything like that?
No, I was too young for that. I was born in 1963.
Oh, okay.
By 1968, all that was over with.
Okay.
And it's like with a lot of the stuff they're talking about the Black Power, this and this and that and the third and all of that. Okay. You have some things that mirror other things. Black Power.
Did you go to college?
Hell no, I ain't go to college.
Oh, okay.
No. The thing with me, I was being geared to go to college, but then when I found out it was an HBCU, I was like, nope. And then they tried to put, well, you're going. I said, okay, well, let's see who's got the doggone strong will. So at that point, senior year, I dropped out of high school.
Yeah, I think after the Black Panthers and that stuff died down, I think that movement kind of moved into college campuses.
No, it was already in college campuses and stuff. In the 80s was a whole different. That was a whole different animal. Now, with the Black Power thing, I heard a clip on there saying, well, if it wasn't for the Caribbeans, the blacks wouldn't have known this and that. And that's not true at all. Okay, the blacks that were the participants were the northern blacks from the free states that never had to deal with slavery. And you had the abolitionists that were battling against the Southern Democrats to end slavery. Now, when there's all the talk about the what the Caribbeans did and the this, and I'm taking it that they're talking about the Haitian Revolution, where the French were forced out of Haiti.
Yes.
Because other than that, nothing else is historic as of any of that. But what is not being focused on or talked about is the fact that the Haitians that came to the United States, to Louisiana, were automatically put into slavery, whereas you had the Louisiana Creoles were not. They were, as they call today, free people of color. See, you have many that don't understand the French Quarter. It's not called the French Quarter because it was an interesting name. It was the Louisiana Creoles that quartered themselves off from everyone else. That's why it's called the French Quarters. See? And that's where everyone lived, worked, the culture, and all of that. Even the money. You know, you could come in there with American money, but you had to purchase the Creole money to do business within the French Quarter. You know, as they called the French Quarter, but, you know, that's where Louisiana Creoles were at. So, yeah.
Yeah, but what did you hear that you disagreed with, though?
That the Caribbeans are the ones that taught the blacks in the United States how to revolt, because the blacks in the United States did not revolt. When did the blacks in the United States revolt?
I think they had the Nat Turner rebellion.
That was one individual.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, he got a group, and it's like, we're gonna go kill up white folk. That didn't cause victory, and he learned what he learned from being able to read from the Bible, and he basically deduced. Wait a minute. The Bible speaks against everything that they are doing to us, but they're doing it to us.
Yeah, I think in that video I was mainly talking about the inspiration that abolitionists took from those revolts in the Caribbean. Just the idea that, you know, slavery could be defeated, and that you know, societies could prosper after slavery. But off the top of my head, I can't think of any other revolts.
Okay, the thing that happened actually happened was this. Okay, you had the whites that were the abolitionists. It had nothing to do with the Caribbeans at all. It all had to do with economics. See, when you had the United States moving into the era of machinery, and cotton was king, if the industrialized North conquers the South and we take all of their resources, we get filthy rich. Very simple. That's the same reason you have the United States goes into all these other countries and never leave, because they're doggone siphoning all of the riches out of these countries. That's what's going on. You know, that's capitalism. I mean, people think, well, we're in Afghanistan for the war and Bin Laden,
but the people that started the abolition movement wasn't the government.
I know it wasn't the government. It was doggone people that were lobbyists that paid the government officials. The government is nothing. The people that work within the government are nothing. They're benefactors. Laws and rules are written to appease those who pay them. That's how it works. So yeah,
I mean, I thought it was that laws and rules are to appease the people that vote for them, not the people that pay them.
No. This country is a republic. This country is not a democracy. This is a republic. This is not a democracy. No.
So what does that mean? I mean, you're acting as if it's
this
better
country,
to be a democracy than a republic.
I didn't say it's better. I like it the way it is, but this country is a republic.
You're acting as if in a republic. Well, you're saying it as if in a republic, it's not the will of the of the people that.
It's not the will of the people. Do you know how democracy works?
Yeah, majority rules.
Exactly. By one vote, majority rules. By one vote, right? Does the United States function that way?
On the majority rule, no, the minority has a say in the American system because the America is a republic.
No, it's not because of that either. You have this thing called Electoral College. Okay. Now, George Bush Jr., he said something that went right over people's head and they never did get it. You know what he said? Just because you get all the votes, that don't mean you're going to win. And that's true. You could get all the votes in a particular state, but the Electoral College deem the opposite candidate is better for the state than the one that won. The opposite candidate that didn't get all the votes wins that state. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if this was a democracy, do you know Hillary Clinton would have been president? Didn't she win the popular vote? Which that's the vote
Yes,
of the majority of the people, but she lost, right?
Yeah, but I just don't think that the only difference between a republic and a democracy is just, the voting.
No, that's not the only difference, but I'm just saying. A democracy, one vote majority rules, and it could be done with one vote. A republic, that's something totally different. Because you look at it, it says, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. Those words are very important. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And what do you think those words mean when it says to the republic?
And for the republic for which it stands. The republic are the mega wealthy that are pulling the strings to run this country. You know, the Federal Reserve Bank is not a government entity.
Now you're sounding like a conspiracy theorist.
No, look it up. The Federal Reserve Bank is not a government entity. There's no conspiracy. Google it. Is the Federal Reserve Bank? No. Hear me out.
That's not what I said was the conspiracy part, though. The conspiracy part was where you said the republic is a bunch of wealthy people.
Yes, that's who is in control of the Federal Reserve Bank, the Rothschilds, and the J.P. Morgan family group, and all of these bankers.
The person who's in charge of the Fed right now, Powell, isn't he appointed by the president?
It doesn't matter who the president appoints; they all fall under the Federal Reserve. What the chairman says.
But the chairman is appointed by. Hold on, the chairman is appointed by the president, not by some rich family somewhere.
Exactly, which means that he has no power because the Federal Reserve Bank is what determines the actual value of the American dollar and the interest rate that people pay to get loans on that money. That's who controls the country. We live in a capitalist world.
Yeah, but he's appointed by the president. So
right, but he has no power.
Who has no power?
Who got appointed by the president? He's under the president.
So who has no power? The person who runs the Fed?
The federal government has no power in reference to the Federal Reserve Bank, the banking system that articulates the
But the
doggone.
president can replace him, right?
He can replace him,
So
yes,
how do you mean
but
he has
the
no
president,
power? Then how does he not have any power over him if he can fire
because the
him?
president cannot replace a Rockefeller, he cannot replace a Morgan, he cannot replace anyone that's in the Rothschilds family, that's in the Federal Reserve Group. He can't replace them because it's not a government entity. It's a banking system.
Hold on. So the president appoints the chairman of the Federal Reserve Board, and then there's a board. Who
No,
appoints
he
the other
does
people on the
not.
board?
That's appointed through their votes.
Through whose vote?
Those that are in position in the Federal Reserve banking system.
Yeah, and I'm saying, but who appoints them? Who puts them in their positions?
They put their own in positions. That's how it works.
No, I can't. It can't work like that. Like, I
Okay.
think it's either it's the chairman that appoints them, or I'm not sure how that works.
Let me hit Google.
But the same way it's the president that
Federal
appoints the chair.
Bank a United States government entity. Okay, it says the Federal Reserve is not, see, not, keyword not, a typical government entity, and it's best described as an independent agency within the United States government. It operates with a unique structure that blends public and private elements.
It says an entity within the government.
It's an entity, independent entity.
Within the government.
Yes, it's within the government because they control the money that the government spends.
Yeah, but what we're talking about here is the people that hold the positions. It's the government that appoints them.
No.
They may work independently, but they are appointed by government officials.
Okay,
whether it's Congress, whether it's the president or Congress, it's the government that appoints them.
You could read it yourself. That's all I can suggest, because they got a long list of what's going on, and it's no conspiracy. It's honest information. It's just like when we went from the gold standard to this thing called a fiat money standard, and a lot of people don't even understand what fiat money is. Fiat money is a denomination of currency that the government guarantees the value, not is guaranteed by any form of gold, precious metals or anything like that. That's how we ended up with trillions of dollars in debt and this and that. Because if you take all of the natural resources, precious metals and diamonds, and you get all of that stuff together, right? Extract it from the whole planet and dump it in one place. It will not have the value of trillions of dollars. It's not enough of it. See, now what's going to end up happening is via the fiat money system, the economy, the global economy, is going to collapse onto itself, just like with the stock market crash in the 30s. It's going to happen again because these banking, whatever it is, they have not figured out a way to have some sort of something that you could hold in your hand that equates the value of the paper currency. See, money used to be silver and gold notes. Say if you brought a $100 gold note to the bank, or a $1 gold note.
We're getting way off the mark, right, Leonard? Because we were talking about, a democracy and a republic, and
right. But this plays right into it. a democracy, we the people could have voted if we wanted to stay on the gold standard or go on the fiat money standard. We weren't allowed to vote on that. That was done because the Federal Reserve Bank wanted to. The government had no control over that either.
Of
We didn't
course
get a
they
chance to
did. By
vote
who
on
they
that.
appointed. The government appointed the people that made those decisions, and we
No, they
appointed the
didn't. Those
president.
people are the Federal Reserve Bank. You really need to read up about the Federal Reserve Bank. You really do, bruh. I'm not trying to say it like you're not comprehending anything. I'm not trying to say that. But if you read up on it and see exactly what the Federal Reserve Bank is, you would know. Like, I don't know.
I mean, the only thing I know is that Trump keeps threatening to fire the chairman of the Federal Reserve.
and he
Right?
can
And
do
if he
that.
can fire the chairman, then he can fire anyone on there.
No, he can't fire. No, he can't.
And if he can fire, in my estimation, the chairman is the most powerful person in the Fed, and the president can fire the most powerful person in there, but he can't fire anyone else. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like,
I
the
know
only
it
thing that
doesn't.
makes sense to me is that
I
these
know
people.
Bruh, I know it doesn't make sense. That's why I am saying to you, as an educated man, read up on it and become acquainted with the reality of the Federal Reserve Bank, and then you will understand fully what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no doubt. I absolutely should read up more on it and how it works and stuff.
Yeah, you'll get it there, because it's like this here. And check this out. Now, I don't know what the value is of. Well, I don't know what denomination of money is used in Jamaica. What is the money called in Jamaica?
It's just the Jamaican dollar.
Okay. Now, if the Federal Reserve Bank were to state the Jamaican dollar has the same value as the American dollar, like the American dollar has the same value in Puerto Rico, then the Jamaican dollar value increases to the dollar value in this country. And it's just that simple. They could do it just like that because they say so. That's fiat money. That's a fiat money standard in a nutshell. Okay, they say this is what, and we, and whatever. That's like the British pound. You look at it. What does London, Britain, the UK, what do they manufacture and export that sells to give them an economy, whereas their British pound has the same value as the United States dollar or the euro? Nothing. What are the tariffs on Europe? On England? Nothing. They export nothing. They factory produce nothing that is exported. So, what the hell? If anything, the Jamaican dollar should have more value than a British pound because Jamaica exports to the United States, do they not?
Yeah, they do. I don't know if they export more than they import, but
they export. The Brits don't export anything. You've got the Dominicans. They doggone export a lot to the United States. Okay? They do. You have probably not ever seen any product in the United States that you have owned that said manufactured in England. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that far, Leonard.
No, it's not going that far. It's the actual truth. I'm gonna give people the truth as it is, and I'm gonna give it to them in a way where they could research it and look around. You'll see made in Taiwan, made in China, made in Bangkok, made in
every country exports something.
not England. Well, let me look at let me I'm gonna do the
Every
Google
country
thing.
exports
Okay.
something.
What does England export to the United States? Medicinal pharmaceutical products. Yeah, England. That's what they say. That says the United Kingdom. That doesn't say England. It says cars.
What is
What?
England a part of the UK or something?
Yeah, it's all one landmass except they're divided like the North and the South. Okay, it says cars, automotive experts, especially brands like Jaguar, Land Rover are a major part of UK exports. Jaguar and Land Rover are Fords. They're Fords. They say the UK is a significant exporter of pharmaceuticals to the United Kingdom. Mechanical power generators, these are exported for intermediate use. Okay. Scientific instruments are exported. Yeah, they export the same thing from the Dominican Republic. Scientific instruments. Aircraft, military and civilian. Yeah, they can say that, but all of the military airlines and stuff are okay. Now they say services. This now note, England is never mentioned. It says the United Kingdom. So let's go a step further. What separates England from the United Kingdom?
I don't know.
No.
I don't even know what you're trying to
asked
prove,
a question
Leonard.
on here for that.
Leonard, what are you trying to prove?
What I'm trying to prove is it's all about the Federal Reserve that says whose money is what. It says England is a country. Wow. The United Kingdom is a sovereign state. Okay? So that sovereign state exports stuff, so they say, to the United States. When Jaguar, what they say here, they say Jaguar, but it's called Jaguar if properly pronounced. And Land Rover, Range Rover, those are manufactured by Ford Motor Company here in the United States. England has no industry whatsoever that they export whatever. So why is
it's pharmaceuticals?
No. That's the United Kingdom. That's the United Kingdom, the sovereign state. England itself exports nothing.
Okay.
I mean, it's weird.
But I'm sure there was. So what does that have to do with the Federal Reserve?
What that has to do with the Federal Reserve is the Federal Reserve states that the British pound has equal value to the United States dollar, and the euro, since all of these European countries, they got off of the French francs and the German marks and the this and that, and they had one united form of money, which is called the euro. You're old enough to have known when there wasn't this thing called a euro, and the Federal Reserve is behind that. Yeah. And even Saddam Hussein, the denomination of money in Iraq was called the dinar. And he wanted to get his money on the euro standard so it would have more value. Much more value.
The Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve is run by the Rothschilds.
And the JP Morgan and all of those. Just
Sounds
look
like
at
you read a lot of conspiracy theory books.
No, it's not conspiracy theory. Just read who was put in charge when the stock market crashed, that saved the banking system in the
Sounds like
United States.
you read a lot of conspiracy theory
It's
books,
not
Leonard.
conspiracy theory. This stuff is fact. You can look it up. Don't discount it before you research it yourself. Now, I didn't say Martians. That's just like
You may not be getting your disability checks because you're lazy, but them disability checks have made you lazy, and you just sit around reading conspiracy theory books.
This is stuff that I've known since way back. This is nothing that's happened to me like recently. No, I was talking about this in the 80s.
Yeah, and books were written in the 80s
I know.
and 70s. Yeah, I know you know.
And I wasn't getting. When did the war on terror start? When was the Twin Towers? When were they bombed? That wasn't the 80s,
The Twin
was it?
Towers, when was that?
That was 9/11,
9/11. When was that? 2011?
2001.
2001.
Right. So 20 years prior to that, I'm talking about the same stuff with the monies. See, I was talking about this since Nixon was in office and we went on the fiat money standard.
Well, you've been a conspiracy theorist for a long time.
It's not a conspiracy. Okay, here we go.
Leonard, the idea that the Federal Reserve is controlled by the Rothschilds and Bilderbergs is a conspiracy theory.
No, it's not. It's got right here.
Man.
The fiat money standard, or simplify, fiat money is a form of currency issued by a government, right? And declared legal tender, but unlike commodity money, which is valued by gold or something you could touch and trade, right? The value is not derived from any backed physical commodity like gold or silver. Instead, its value is based on the public's trust in the issuing government and stability of the economy, according to smartassets.com. Read it up. When did the United States get on the fiat money system?
I'm not sure.
I'm saying I'm just talking into the thing.
It's too late for me. Oh, you're talking to ChatGPT.
No, it happened in 1971. Who was in office? Nixon. And he got us off of the gold standard and onto the fiat money standard, whereas the Federal Reserve Bank says this money is worth this much and that's it. And if you don't want to accept it, you don't have to. Because America, we're bullies and we won't pay you. And our military is so strong, you're not going to take it from us. So what you going to do? Fish or cut bait. See what I'm saying? If people don't realize how good it is to be in this country. This
Even though
country
it's
is
run
great.
by these wealthy people?
Yes, this is great. You don't have to
I
worry
thought you
about.
were criticizing it. Here I was thinking you
No,
were criticizing
this
it.
is great.
Because it's the Federal Reserve is run by the Rothschilds and Bilderbergs. I thought that was your major criticism, which is why I'm here calling you a conspiracy theorist, right? But
it's
now
not a
you're telling me how
criticism.
great this country is. Like,
That's
hooray
what
for
I
the
told you.
Bilderbergs, hooray
I-
for the Rothschilds.
I told you, listen to me, just listen to me and read it. I'm not conspiracy theorying. I'm telling you exactly what it is, or like they say, what a TI is. Telling you like it TI is, like it is. This is what it is. This is no fantasy land. And if that standard to control the banking system globally was not in place, we were probably living in a communist country today, and we'd be assed out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we'd be assed out. be like Cuba. Whereas you go over there, $5 goes a whole bunch in Cuba. See? Oh yeah. Man, this is the greatest country ever. This is, I mean, for right now, all countries, great and small, they fall. The Roman Empire fell. They ruled for hundreds of years. So the American Empire eventually is going to fall. I know that many of us, we won't live long enough to see it because this country has yet to be going on a decline monetarily, see? But as technology makes its footprint bigger and bigger and bigger, that's when things are going to get smaller and smaller and smaller for the little person. See, it's like I told my son, you need to acquire a doggone, what you got going on is good, but it's all automation. You're looking at a screen, you're doing this, you're doing that. You want to make yourself a value, you better get you a job where you turning some wrenches, you running some wire, through some poles, the electrician or something like that, something that they do not have, these robots that they're able to do. See, that's what makes you valuable. Even the military is losing its value. Did you see the drones for the military?
Yeah, well,
they're like little.
I haven't really
dogs.
been paying much attention.
Yeah, they're like little dogs, right? I mean, they're small little creatures, and it's battery operated. They scan the landmass. They send the information up to the drones that are flying around way up where you can't hear or see them, and they shoot Hellfire missiles down on whatever necessary targets need to be hit. Yeah. So pretty soon, I mean, it's like conventional war. That's over with already. People just don't know it. It's pointless in them even having boots on the ground soldiers anywhere in the world when they could have a small, extremely small force just to do maintenance and turn wrenches on the robotic little things that go out there in dangerous places that won't die if they're hit by enemy fire. See, so yeah, the world is changing. People aren't seeing it because no one's paying attention because they're too busy bitching about who getting what and I'm not getting mine. I want my reparations because my great sixth great generation grandmama, she was in the house and cooked and really? Okay.
Yeah, well, listen, man. I'm gonna go along and change along with the universe. I'm gonna get ready to get off this internet.
I hear that. Yeah, because I mean, just think about
I've been on here long enough.
Yeah, especially since all the people had stuff to type in the comments, but they didn't have the doggone nerve to come on and participate. But just check it out. At one time, right now, I don't know where you live, but I told you I'm in Georgia, right? Now, there's no way we could have communicated with each other at all at one given point in life. Now, you have people that can communicate from all over the world. It could be someone that's in the Philippines right now. You'd be like, what time is it? Oh, it's 11:30 Eastern time, 10:30 Midwest time in the United States, but I'm over in the Philippines due to the time difference. And everybody's communicating in real time. And we're not paying an international phone bill for talking. Do you remember them international phone bill? How much them were back in the day? How much per minute for an overseas call? 60 cents a minute.
Yeah. So, yeah, Leonard, like I said, man,
Yeah,
I'm gonna shut this
we're
thing down.
benefiting. It's the greatest country in the world. All this great technology and stuff, bro. So I'll be here for the next time. You know, you jump on and do your thing. But
Yes,
man,
sir. Bless yourself.
the United States of America, man, you can't beat this with a stick. And them that's sitting here bitching and complaining, I'm like, you just lazy, and you don't want to doggone do what is necessary and required for you to get your. Talking about there's no opportunities out here. Bull stuff. You know, I ain't trying to cuss on your stream. I'm like this. I'm a high school dropout that went back 3 years later to get my high school diploma because I was going to join the military. And now I'm living like people from the same ghetto I'm from, even though we weren't like welfare recipients, but it was still a ghetto. This is the life I'm living. My children are living a better standard than I'm living. And I accomplished all this and the guidance without a college diploma? Where in the hell else you going to do that any place in the world? This is the greatest country in the world.
Yes, sir. I'm going to second that. And on seconding that, I'm going to get out of here. Bless yourself, Leonard.
I want you to listen very, very carefully.
Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Brought us from the motherland in bondage and chains. Bury our culture and change our names. They claim we're free, yet we are in pain. As long as there's life, there's a lot to gain. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. When God spoke his words, they said he was deranged. Marley sung his songs, they said the same. Malcolm X and Martin Luther fought relentlessly so we could be better. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Brought us from the motherland in bondage and chains. Bury our culture and change our names. They claim we're free, yet we are in pain. As long as there's life, there's a lot to gain. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they